Hi, I'm Philip Iskandarian, and welcome to the second episode of SoCal on a Budget, a show designed to get families out of the house so they can have fun and do it for little or no dough. This is my 1931 Ford AA truck, affectionately known as Big Iron. Now it's been in a commercial with a Smoking Hot Jeans model. You can see the commercial if you want on YouTube. It's under Articles of Society SS13 and also behind the scenes of Articles of Society with the Canon EOS 1DC camera. Now I take this truck out every now and then, cruise it around, go to the car shows, and that's what this theme about this show is all about. We're going to have some car fun. I'm a total gearhead at heart. You know, I used to turn wrenches for a living. The cars and trucks are in my mechanical stuff. It's in my blood. So from time to time throughout this whole series, we're going to be having some car-related fun. And for today's show, we're going to start out from Van Nuys and head over to Sylmar. But I've got a riddle for you. What do classic American cars, or luxury cars, and makeup have in common? The answer when we get to our first stop. Alright, we're at our first stop. So the answer to our riddle is J.B. Nethercutt. J.B. Nethercutt was a big car collector and also of antiques. And he was the owner of Merle Norman Cosmetics. So we're here at his museum, the Nethercutt collection in Sylmar, to see some of his cars. Now, I printed this out. Well, actually, I wrote this out so you could the information so you could see where we're at. You can have the telephone number and and the website. They're usually open from Tuesday through Saturday from about 9 to 4:30. And guess what? It's free. Now here's one of the highlights of some of the cars that he has in his collection. This particular car had belonged once to Rudolph Valentino, and I have a personal connection with it because before the Nethercutts had bought it, it belonged to my grandfather. Let me zoom in or pan over. They have a picture of Rudolph Valentino with the car, and I thought it would be appropriate to bring a picture of my grandfather with the car as well. Let's see if we can, I'll try to get the best picture as possible. Okay, here's some information they have about the car with a picture of Rudolph Valentino. And can you believe that this car sold for $14,000 way back in 1923 when you could have got a Model T for I think about $300? Now I'm going to pan over because I wanted to show you a picture of my grandmother and grandfather and of them in the car. This is my grandparents, Dick and Marie Alexander. And there's my grandfather driving the Voisin with my grandmother in the back seat. Well, a very famous comedian told me some things about the Voisin that I didn't know. First, he said that Voisin was actually an aircraft guy, and that he was the first one in flight before the Wright brothers. But I thought was really interesting. Now, I haven't done any research on that to verify it, but I thought it was a neat story. And then he started talking to me about the engine, and he said that this engine had no cylinder head, and that the actual cylinders themselves moved, and that exposed a port. And I've got a diagram of the engine here, actually a picture, so you can see. So the cylinders moved back and forth. It had exposed the port, I guess one for intake and one for an exhaust. And I asked him, you know, first I thought that he was describing to me a rotary engine, and he said, no, it's not a rotary. And I said, well, why did they do that? He said, well, it was because they made the engine run incredibly smooth. And you know who this famous comedian was? Jay Leno. These are just some of the cars inside, but like I said in the last video, I want you to come out here and experience it for yourself. No fun for me to show you. You got to come out here and so you can have your own fun. This is just some of the antiques he has. We'll listen to it for a little bit. Here are just more of the cars in the collection. I'll pan down the row so you can see a lot of them. Both sides of the aisle. Now everybody talks about the bucket list, things they would do before they kick the bucket. But I actually have a lotto list, meaning things I would buy if I won the lottery. And this would be one of them. A classic roadster, just like this. Yeah, this would be on my lotto list. Now out in the back they have this train. And the story on this train, it belonged to Clara Baldwin. The daughter of Lucky Baldwin, who owned Baldwin Park, Arcadia, very rich man. And he actually built Santa Anita Racetrack too. He owned the property there as well. But when he died, his daughter went on a spending spree, and this is one of the things she bought, her own private rail car. See, back then, before the rich people today had their Lear jets to get around on, the rich people back then traveled by train. Most of them had their own private rail car. They do give tours of this, I think twice a day. You have to check in with the front desk when you come in. And then also I want to tell you about across the street. There's more of the museum with antiques, and they have some more cars over there too. You do have to make a reservation for that. And when you come into the front desk, there's a pamphlet that you can get, and it tells you how to do it. But it's for my favorite word, free. Okay, our car adventure continues. We are here at Supercar Sunday, which is held at the Woodland Hills Promenade. It's right on the corner of Topanga Canyon and Irwin in Woodland Hills. Every Sunday they have a car show. Starts off about 7 in the morning and goes to about 11. And I'm going to walk around and show you a little bit about what's here. Now here's a little bit of what's here. We've got a nice little collection of Cobras. And I'll pan over. There's a Lamborghini, which I could care less about. I like more of the traditional hot rods. Now here's something that just rolled in. It's rather exotic. It's called the Belladonna. I've never even heard of it before, but it just looks fast. Okay, let's walk up so we can see the inside. Sometimes you'll see things like this. Some of the rich guys from south of Ventura Boulevard bring their cars down off the hills. But like I say, I'm a traditional hot rod guy. Now here's something more my speed. This is it's a really clean '56 Chevy, but with a complete modern drivetrain. It's just got a clean look to it. I like it.
Alec gets back from lunch and his dad's like, oh yeah, you kind of need new tires. It's down to just friends. You'll save too much
Now here's something unique you don't see every day. Little I said, a Steve Urkel car. Let's walk over so you'll see if we can look inside. See the sunroof. Now to get into these cars, you notice there's no doors on the side. The door is on the front. That's right. That hood basically is the door. That whole thing swings open, and that's how you get inside. Take a look at this old Suzuki that they restored. Really nice. Makes me want to go out there and look and see if I could find one to do the same. I like it. I give it a thumbs up.
It's coming up out of the hole somewhere. And the squad car just happens to be there. It's like, you know what? I first moved out here at my wife's.
It's a nice big block. And over to the one next door. They're both 67 Chevelles. I'm assuming they're both super sports. Take a look at this. We have a Citron. The gentleman's going to crank start it. Yay!
Good sounding motor.
I've got a Honda generator that sounds louder than that.
Take a look at this thing. So basic, 2-cylinder.
This is enough gasoline to go probably 10 miles. 10 miles on that. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it's something. Oh boy. Yeah, you're right, it is quiet. Yeah, this is unique. I've never seen a Citron up close like this. Let's show you. Looks like it rolled right out of World War II. Interesting. Now, I am a fan of the new modern Mustang like this, and I could own one. I'd go for it, but I'll have to add it onto my lotto list. Look at this. Apparently it's a Russian-built motorcycle. It's kind of neat. I'll pan to the other side. It's got a suicide shift. And I'd like to learn some more about it. It's unique. It kind of reminds me of a BMW bike. Now here's a wild looking Porsche. I guess it's a Spider, and I'm assuming because of the tag here it says E-Hybrid, that's a hybrid. Probably the fastest looking hybrid I've ever seen. Let's take a look at the inside. See? Now here's a collection of Vipers. Must be a club that came out for the day. Well, that's a wrap. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to sign out now. I'm Phil for SoCal on a Budget, reminding you to ride the wind and let it guide you on your adventures. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.